Mia Kingtide, Guardian of the Coast, by Luke Kilpatrick. Narrated by Luke Kilpatrick, with assistance from 11 Labs. Book 2 in Mia Kingtide's Ocean Adventures series. Published by Pitter Patter Diving LLC. Books available on Amazon and pitterpatterdiving.com.
Chapter 1. A Cry for Help. The morning sun shimmered on the gentle waves as Mia Kingtide and her dad, Luke, paddled their green tandem kayak toward the sandy shore of Año Nuevo State Park. Behind them, Pitter Patter, their 26-foot cruiser, bobbed lightly on its anchor in a sheltered cove. The rugged coastline stretched out before them, dotted with windswept dunes and rocky outcroppings. Mia leaned forward in her seat at the front of the kayak, gripping her paddle tightly.
"This place is so beautiful,"
she said, her voice full of wonder. Luke, seated behind her, smiled as he steered them toward the shore.
"It's one of my favorite spots,"
he said.
"And I'll bet the elephant seals will be even more incredible up close."
The kayak glided smoothly through the water, the bright green hull contrasting against the deep blue waves. As they neared the beach, Mia could already hear the distant grunts and barks of the seals. It was a sound that carried a mix of power and mystery, drawing her curiosity even more. 12-year-old Mia had always loved the ocean. It was impossible not to, growing up on the shores of Monterey Bay. Her life changed 2 years ago when she rescued an octopus being harassed by older kids while trapped in a tide pool. After Mia freed it, the octopus returned with an extraordinary gift: a magical shell. The shell transformed Mia's connection to the ocean. It gave her the ability to communicate with most marine creatures, breathe underwater without scuba gear, and even move objects without touching them in certain situations. While she was still discovering the full extent of her powers and their meaning, one thing was clear. Mia was determined to use her gifts to protect the oceans and the creatures that call them home. After pulling the kayak onto the sand and securing it with a rope tied to a log of driftwood, Mia and Luke began their walk toward the observation areas. The air was filled with the cries of seabirds and the rhythmic crashing of waves, creating the perfect soundtrack for their adventure. As they followed the marked path through the dunes, Mia's eyes widened at the sight of the seals basking on the beach. The massive males, with their distinctive trunk-like noses, lay sprawled across the sand, while smaller females and juveniles rested nearby.
"Look at them,"
Mia whispered, her excitement bubbling over.
"They're amazing, aren't they?"
Luke said, pulling out his camera to take a few photos. But as they walked farther along the path, a faint, high-pitched cry reached Mia's ears. She stopped in her tracks, tilting her head to listen.
"Dad,"
she said, her brow furrowing.
"do you hear that?"
Luke paused, lowering his camera.
"I hear it. Sounds like a pup. Over there down that gully by the driftwood."
Mia quickened her pace, following the sound until she spotted the source. A small elephant seal pup huddled behind a large log of driftwood. Its gray, mottled skin was streaked with sand, and its dark, watery eyes were wide with fear. The pup let out another faint cry, struggling weakly to move but collapsing back onto the sand.
"Oh no,"
Mia murmured, kneeling a few feet away. She could feel the pup's fear radiating like a wave.
"Hey there,"
she said softly, reaching out with her powers to communicate.
"What's wrong?"
The pup's cries quieted as it turned its gaze toward her.
You can hear me?"
It asked, its voice trembling with fear and exhaustion.
"Yes,
Mia replied, keeping her voice calm and steady.
I can hear you. What happened?"
"I got separated from my mom.
The pup said, its voice cracking.
The tide pulled me away and I'm so tired. I don't know where to go."
Mia's heart clenched. She inched closer, her movements slow and careful.
"It's okay,"
she said gently.
"You're safe now. We're going to help you."
Luke crouched beside her, his face etched with concern.
"What's it saying?"
Mia glanced at him.
"It's scared and exhausted. It got separated from its mom and hasn't been able to rest or find food. It's dehydrated too.
She pointed to the pup's dry, cracked skin. Luke nodded grimly.
We'll call the Marine Mammal Center. This little one needs professional care.
The pup let out a weak whimper, trying to shuffle away but collapsing again. Mia moved closer, her voice soothing.
Don't move too much. Save your energy.
She reached out her hand slowly, letting the pup sniff her fingers before gently stroking its fur.
You're really brave.
She whispered. The pup sniffled, its big eyes brimming with tears.
Will it hurt?
No.
Mia said firmly.
The people at the center are going to help you feel better, I promise.
Luke asked Mia for her handheld VHF marine radio. Then he set it to channel 16 to call for help. He knew there was no cell phone service on this rural area of the coast.
This is Pitter Patter anchored off Año Nuevo.
He said into the handset.
We've got an injured elephant seal pup on the beach, dehydrated, weak, and in need of medical attention, requesting assistance from the Marine Mammal Center.
A crackling response came through.
Pitter Patter, this is the U.S. Coast Guard Sector, San Francisco. We'll notify the Marine Mammal Center and send someone out. Stand by.
Mia stayed with the pup, stroking its fur gently as it whimpered.
You're not alone.
She said softly.
I'm right here.
The pup closed its eyes briefly, as if comforted by her presence.
Thank you.
It whispered. About an hour later, a white truck from the Marine Mammal Center pulled onto the beach. A woman with dark hair tied back in a ponytail climbed out, then got out a large animal crate from the back of the truck. She waved as she approached.
Hi, I'm Carolina,
She said warmly.
Thanks for calling this in.
Mia stood and gestured toward the pup.
It's really scared.
She explained.
I've been talking to it to keep it calm, but it's really weak and hasn't had any food or water.
Carolina knelt beside the pup, her face full of compassion as she examined it.
You did a great job keeping it calm,
She said.
This pup is definitely dehydrated and it's showing signs of malnutrition. We need to get it back to the center as soon as possible for fluids and care.
She opened the crate and placed it gently on the sand, but the pup immediately started to panic.
No, I don't want to go in there.
It cried, thrashing weakly. Mia knelt down beside it, speaking softly.
It's okay.
She said.
This crate will take you to people who can help, I promise.
The pup hesitated, its body trembling.
Will it hurt?
No,
Mia reassured it.
it'll feel strange at first, but once you're at the center, they'll make sure you feel better.
The pup looked at her, its eyes wide with trust.
Okay, if you'll visit me soon.
Of course.
Mia said, stroking its head gently. With Carolina's help, Mia carefully guided the pup into the crate. The pup whimpered but stayed still, keeping its eyes on Mia the entire time. Once the door was secured, Carolina stood and nodded.
Great job.
Carolina said.
This little one's in good hands now. We'll take it back to the center, give it fluids, and monitor its health. If everything goes well, we'll release it back here in a few weeks.
Mia's face lit up.
Can I come visit it at the center?
Absolutely.
Carolina said with a smile.
In fact, why don't you come for a tour? I'd love to show you what we do.
I'd love that.
Mia said, her excitement bubbling over. As the truck drove away, Mia stood with her dad, watching until it disappeared over the dunes. She turned to him, her heart full.
That felt amazing.
She said. Luke placed a hand on her shoulder.
You've got a gift, Mia, and you're using it to make a real difference.
Mia looked out at the sparkling waves. The ocean held so many challenges, but she was ready for all of them.